Morning, everyone. I'm Edwina. Minasan konnichiwa. I'm the director of the business division of Arphic, and Arphic is a fund foundry of Taiwan established 30 years ago. And it's my pleasure today to stand here to share with you about a project that we are currently doing, a type flavor wheel. As a type designer or a fund foundry, when you design a new typeface, have you ever had a purpose to design it? Like for better legibility, or a typeface for fun, or a stylish one? Have you ever thought about how it will be used when you design it? Typefaces are very important materials when you do like graphic design, UI design, something like that. But have your types ever surprised you when they are used? So on the website of the fund foundries, you could do some simple searching for the typefaces you need. And I think all the website of fund foundries provide like simple searching and classification by like styles or maybe features, languages. And some Chinese and Japanese fund foundries even provide images for people to choose the typeface. But when designers or fund foundries do this, I think it's very subjective. They just classify the fonts by the image or features they would like users to know. On top of that, the classification on the website will not change anymore when it is fixed. But how people feel about the typeface will change with time or maybe trend. This is an example, okay? This is a typeface we call Haiti in Chinese, and I think Gochiku in Japanese. And this is a universal design Haiti. In the past 10 years, it's been very popular with a large counter and simple features. It helps increase the legibility and readability. And it's been widely used in Japan since the country has suffered from a very serious population aging problem. And this is, a Japanese goshiku called Tsukushi Goshiku. And this is very famous in Japan, and it's presented by a famous Japanese fund foundry, Fundworks. It's launched in 2003, a very traditional and old-style Gothic typeface in Japan, with a small counter and some decorations on the end of the terminal of the strokes. But recently, we heard from a couple of Japanese type designers that for the young generation of type designers, the UD typeface look old for them. Because in their age, UD typeface is everywhere. But like Tsukushi Gothic for them, it looks new and fashion because they've never seen it or used it before. So I think people's image toward this typeface has changed. This is another example. And this kind of typeface, we call that gu yinti in Chinese, and which it imitates the texture of Chinese characters that were carved on seals. And this kind of typeface came out in the 90s. At that time, they are often used on some things that are nostalgic. So like the package of tea or some like old flavor cookies, the package like this. And this is a Japanese example. This kind of typeface is used on the New Year's greeting card and looks kind of formal, but it's the past. I'm not sure since when, like, people in Taiwan start to use it on some TV programs that telling horror stories. So now, the most frequent usage of this typeface is on scary things. Okay. So I think it leads to something like when this typeface is used and something become very horrible and scary. This is a wedding invitation. And wedding should be very happy, joyful, but for me, it looks something wrong. I also found another example in Japanese. It's a beauty salon, a door of a beauty salon. So I wonder if people see it, if they are daring to walk in for their facial or hair. So therefore, we start to build a flavor wheel for our library, and a flavor wheel that shows the flavor of types. And the idea comes from my boss. Once she walked into a coffee shop, she saw a picture like this. This is a poster, and the poster shows that the flavor of coffee. So you could find any kind of flavors like fruit, spice, roast on this wheel. And by following the wheel, you might be able to find a coffee you like. At that time, we were working on a new UI for our website, and we were trying to give all our types a tag that show the images we would have for the typeface, and to help users to find the types they need. But the problem is, when we decide the classification, they won't be changed forever. And another problem is, people's image to types are always beyond our expectation. And here are some interesting examples. So this is Kaiti. It's a very classical Chinese calligraphy typeface, and it's originated from 220 BC, a very representative typeface. You can not only find it in ancient books, but also because it's widely digitized, you can find it everywhere in Chinese used area. So a lot of products like soy sauce or tea or wine, they love to use this kind of typeface on the package. Okay, so this is a very popular Japanese animation, Totoro, directed by a famous Japanese director, Miyazaki Hayao. I think most of you have ever seen it. And the movie shows an atmosphere of warm, cute, and lovely. But on the poster, the designer used Kaiti to show the name of the director. But it seems like using such a classical typeface doesn't make anything wrong. And another example is Chinese Ming tea, or you could call it Song tea. It's originated from the end of Ming Dynasty, around 500 years from now. There are also very classical calligraphy typefaces. Nowadays, most of the books are printed with Ming tea. It's one of the most common used typeface in Chinese character used area. But now, a lot of designers use a Ming tea on some posters and magazines, and I think it brings the images of new and sometimes fresh. A classical calligraphy typeface brings the image of warm, maybe lovely, new, and fresh. I think it's far out of the classification we will give them. So let's come back to the flavor wheel. In the past few months, we asked a dozen of designers to do a research. So we gave them the moods like joyful, sad, relaxing, and images like traditional, soft, and maybe romantic, and asked them to tell us like which typeface you think give you a certain mood or images. And then here's the result. So my company right now is designing a new Songti typeface, and our goal is to make it very classical. Because in the digital era, the typefaces are designed for using on screens. So when we pursue better legibility, sometimes we need to sacrifice some details. But with the evolution of screens, the resolution is high enough for the type designers not to sacrifice anything. Therefore, our designers look out for tons of books of Mingti and Songti and look into the details of the typeface and intend to design a Songti with this originated feature. And this is the typeface we just launched earlier this year. It's one of the typefaces that we would like to know how people feel about it. And of course, we hope to hear people telling us it's very classical with the original features. But surprisingly, 1/3 of the subjects classified into contemporary. So when we found the result to design some marketing materials, we found it does bring something new and contemporary. And one of the designers used the typeface on the cover of a book. But of course, it looked good on some things that show the image of vintage. I just want to say, without this research, we will never give it a tag, contemporary. So we would also like to extend the wheel to multi-scripts. Since a lot of our clients came to us with Latin typeface and asked for a match Chinese. But of course, I know, finding a match on the features doesn't mean the match brings the same image. But because they come from different culture, I don't think a classical Latin typeface would look like very similar to a classical Chinese one. But here's something I think we could do. Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon is a very famous movie directed by Ang Lee. And the Chinese version poster used a calligraphy typeface on the title and used Mingti on the list of cast. Well, it's hard to find a match in Latin typeface, but I think Trajan did a great job. And this is a movie poster of a famous Thai urban legend, Ghost Story. And the title is the name of the lady holding a baby on the poster. The typeface looked very scary. And this is the Chinese version. The title is also the name of the lady, but the typeface shows so much less scary, but a little tender. So in this case, we would say something, the words are correctly translated by the images or emotions. So we did a little experiment for the poster. We tried Guiyingti, which I mentioned earlier, that shows the image of scary. I think it looks better. If designers could find the same images of different scripts in the wheel, then they could pick up a better matched typeface, not only for the posters, but also things that need to be translated, both words and emotions. And we just start to collect the information for the wheel and have a very rough result. We are planning to put the wheel on our website, and users could do their own classification anytime. So we hope to build a model for the users to pick up the typefaces that always bring correct and updated images. because choosing the right typeface really matters. Thank you very much.